The following is a presentation of the Miracle League Sports Network. Today's Baseball Brain podcast is brought to you by our friends at East State CrossFit. East State CrossFit will bring out the best in your player. Visit their website for more information. Welcome back, everyone, to Baseball Brain, the Miracle League of Mercer County podcast. I'm your host, Harrison Milo, alongside Dan Fweck and Rick Pena, the executive director of the Miracle League of the 805, our guest for this episode.
Sunny California is in the house. What's up, Rick?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, Harrison.
Hi.
All you, Harrison. Go ahead.
First build your Miracle League?
Well, we actually just finished our field. We started building it last March, and the field was completed in October. October of 2023. Took about 6 months. We spent about $1.2 million to build it. Gorgeous. And so we just finished up the field.
Have you played
relatively... Oh, sorry, Harrison. I was going to say. So you're relatively new to the game, right? So you're jumping in with your first season. Give us a little backstory and tell us how were you able to raise that $1.2 million?
Started it almost 7.5 years ago. My wife and I did, and then we had some of the community members jump in. We got a board started, and the first thing we had to do is try to find land, and we struggled. I mean, that's one thing in Southern California. Getting land is hard. It took us about 3 years. 3.5, 4 years to really secure our land. We got land, it got taken away. Then while we were doing that, we were raising money. Of course, it was a lot easier to raise money when we had land. A few different fundraisers. We had one big donor foundation that ended up eventually giving us 1.3.
$1.3 million. That's unbelievable. Yeah. It's amazing to see what people come out of the woodwork to support Miracle League.
It was a little more expensive here because we had to do what's called prevailing wage when we built the field. Being on state land, probably could have done it a hair cheaper. Didn't have to do that, but it is what it is. And the field came out gorgeous. We're really excited about our first season, and that's where we're at right now. We're just on our way to our first season.
As your Miracle League is named after the area code that you are in, what town are you in?
Oh, good question. We're in Camarillo, California. We're located almost exactly between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. We are right in the middle of the 805, the area code 805, which is pretty much our county, Ventura County. We originally were the Miracle League of Camarillo. In fact, if you go on our 501c3, it says the Miracle League of Camarillo. And we've had a few people that had a hard time finding us because they're looking for the Miracle League of the 805, and we're actually doing business as the Miracle League of the 805. But we decided to change the name when we wanted to get a bigger, audience, if you will. We wanted to expand, and so we could bring players in from all around and not just Camarillo. And to be honest with you, one of the things was the Miracle League of Ventura County was already taken. That's our county. Somebody had started one in Ventura, the city of Ventura. We couldn't get a hold of her. And we wanted to maybe just take her name, and we discussed that. We couldn't get in touch with her, and somewhere the name came out. Somebody said, what about we do of the 805? We all liked it, and we just rolled with it. And then ironically, about 2 years later, that lady found us to give us a bunch of stuff. And we could have changed it, but we stayed with the Miracle League of the 805.
So you actually have two Miracle Leagues in your county? You're one of two in your county?
No, we did. They started it, but they never got it off the ground. The Miracle League of Ventura County got going, like a lot of them. It's hard to get these completed. From what I understand, it never really got the momentum, and that's kind of the key to these. You got to get that early momentum and get it going. And we got that, and unfortunately, she wasn't able to get it.
That's nice, though, that it seems like she was able to share some of those resources with you after the fact when you guys finally connected.
She did. When she found out about us, she gave us a bunch of stuff, various things that she had from her league, because they actually ran the league and tried to do it. I would say if there's anybody out there that was listening that wanted to build one, if there's one advice I would give, the smartest thing we did is we didn't try to run a league while we tried to raise money for the field. We just built the field. There was a league in our town. Steve Smith ran it, and so there was one. They put on dirt. So the kids that we would get, we would send them over to Steve, and then now they're all coming to us. Now that we're starting the Miracle League, they were the Champions League. That was the one thing that we did. I think that was smart. Was we didn't try to run a league while we're trying to build the field.
Cool.
We did a similar thing here. I mean, it was before my time. I'm actually the second executive director, but when our board of directors came together, and it's actually really cool. The majority of our board of directors that we currently have are still the founding board members. So they've been around since the beginning. Yeah, it's almost 20 years now, which is hard to believe. But they went through the process of going through and fundraising and putting full focus on getting everything lined up first before trying to run. I mean, I know we all want to, do our best to serve the families, but to be able to get that focus and secure the money, then build the field, then be able to, I think it actually helped the process move quicker.
It did. It was a hard decision because there's a lot of downtime. We really, at the beginning, weren't doing that much. We'd have a board meeting every month, and we'd come to the board meeting with not a lot to report. Yeah. Well, still don't have land. We're still trying to get a meeting with Rec and Park. We're still talking to school district. We weren't. So there was this thought that maybe we should get it going, and that would help us get the land because once people saw the league, but we just stayed the course, and I think it was the right thing to do.
Can you talk a little bit about your location, where your field is, and how construction's been finalized? And you and I were just talking offline, like these final steps you're taking as you're getting ready for opening day.
Yeah, our field it's also next to where the pony baseball fields are. So we got kind of lucky on that. So we're right next to the other baseball fields, yet we're a little bit further away. We're right next to bathrooms, which is awesome. And you can see if that picture right there, right behind you, those are the bathrooms. They're ADA accessible. So it really worked out that we got a location right next to the bathroom. And right over to the left here of that picture is the other baseball field. So it's a really good location. And it's about a mile away from town at the most.
It looks beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. You can see the mountains in the background there. You guys have a beautiful setup, and I'm really happy to see that come together for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, we are kind of lucky. It's a pretty town, so we're surrounded by mountains, and weather's our strong point here. We're said to have, like, at one point, the third best climate in the country. It's always 75-ish, Not always. It's freezing this morning when I went for a walk, but, it's nice here, so we're kind of lucky we can play. We can start early in March, which is an advantage for us.
It sounds like even more reason for Harrison and me to come out and visit you.
You guys should. I think we need a Miracle League of the 805 and the Miracle League of the Mercer County. What is your area code? 609?
Yeah.
609, yeah.
609, yeah. It should be the 609 and the 805. We need to put that together.
I still owe you. I promised you and your wife some more 609 swag. There you go.
Yeah. I need to get some. That's awesome. And we're using that same logo with the 805, essentially, with the baseball across. I think you saw it. So it looks.
I saw. I started ordering stuff already.
I want it, everything, because I like what we're talking about right now. And Dan, we've talked about it before. About how our Miracle League came to be, but I don't know, and I would like to see them. If you have pictures of like them building our field originally.
Oh, there are a couple. We do have plenty of. I'd have to go back into records here. I'm actually on the computer right now, so I could try to pull them up real quick. But we do have some interesting pictures from way back when. It was 2004. The end of 2004, beginning of 2005, when we started construction, and it was finished by the fall of 2005. So we could start our league operation. We started in September of 2005.
You're one of the originals out there, then.
Oh well, so Rick, we were actually, according to Stephanie, we were the 15th Miracle League overall, and we were the first in the Northeast portion of the United States.
Oh, very cool.
So that shows you how far back.
And how many currently are there in the Northeast? I mean, I know there's over like 300 overall, but
oh man, I mean, there's at least there's the 2 or 3 in Massachusetts, 2 or 3 in Connecticut, the 2 here in New Jersey. I don't know about New York. I don't know how many are in New York. There's 1 in Delaware. There's a whole bunch in Pennsylvania that we know about. And I don't know about Maryland. So I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of room to expand. There always is.
There should be so many more. That's one of my biggest beefs. I really think there should be a law that when you build so many baseball fields, you should have to put an American League field.
I like that idea.
Especially for certain areas. Like if you build 6 baseball fields, you have to build another one. Now, I don't know if you necessarily need one in a small town, like less than 30,000 people. But if I talked to one of our local, congressmen about it. Right? I was thinking the only way to really get this thing to seriously expand is to make it a law. Because going through this, it was such a grind for us to go through this, and most people don't want to, don't have the time, to put in this kind of challenge. And that's why so many fizzle out. And, that's why I know you would help. I would help anybody who wants to put one together. I'm willing to help. I've done some consulting with people that want to get one off the ground, but we really wish there would be a law that would make it.
It's an interesting point you make, Rick, because there's so many state and federal laws that are coming together, right? And they focus on outdoor recreation for individuals with special needs and developing playgrounds. So the whole, with the whole concept of building Miracle Leagues all over, having those Miracle Leagues attached to playgrounds, which is happening anyway, right? A lot of these new Miracle Leagues are sprouting up with playgrounds included in their proposals. It just seems like a no-brainer that we would just say, hey, State Assembly, we have X amount of people confirmed in our county that we're serving that have special needs. We need a playground. We need a baseball field right next to it. So it seems like common sense, but we're just not there yet.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like we're quite there. Somebody's going to have to make some noise. Maybe it's done state by state. I'm not sure. It doesn't have to be a baseball field. I mean, I think the one thing nice about baseball is obviously you can have baseball and then you can go from there. Like we're going to play soccer on ours too, and or at least we're going to allow soccer. And then there's Special Olympics. There's so many other things that can be done.
Mm-hmm. And I like the multi-purpose field. Or not multi-purpose, multi-sport.
Right. We're thinking about, you might like this, Harrison. I don't know if you guys do it, but we're thinking about doing kickball too. And
it's not a bad idea. You can get a lot of people involved with that.
Yeah. So we're going to look at various things, but, it's just like in our area, we have a very populated area. We're next to Los Angeles, right? There's one in Los Angeles. What is there, 5 million people in Los Angeles? And there's one, and the Dodgers built it. They built it for their RBI program, and it's in South Central LA. There's one in Orange County. Orange County's huge. I think there's 2 in San Diego. But for this whole Southern California region, there only to be 3 or 4 is just unbelievable. It's ridiculous. There should be 50, 80. I mean, not just 4 or 5. So hopefully we can get there.
One day, with us pounding the pavement.
Let's go one at a time, right?
Is there at least one in every state?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think there's and Harrison. I think what that comes down to is you just have very small populations when you go out Midwest. Like I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. I would assume maybe it's the wrong thing to assume, but like Wyoming, North Dakota. There's a couple of states that are just so not only very sparsely populated, but when you are in states like that are sparsely populated, you don't have as much of a support network for programs unfortunately for programs with individuals with special needs. Right? The money doesn't exist out there. They're not taxing people the money to put together programs like that. Inundated with tons of resources. I'm sure it's the same for you, Rick, in California. There's probably a gigantic state budget that revolves around supporting the special needs community, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing is, it's not like every field has to be what we did, or probably what you guys did. We went. We wanted to build a really cool facility, but at the end of the day, you could take an old baseball field you're not using, level it out, put concrete on it, and open up the dugouts, and you got a field. It doesn't have to be like to the extent we did it. So.
You're absolutely.
I also think and we've talked about this before, not on the podcast, but we've talked about it in general. Spreading the word. One near you in Los Angeles, and I go to the one in New York every year. Or not in New York. Yeah. It's in Edison. There's an Abilities Expo every year. I've thought about how Miracle League needs to have a booth there. It might not be one, but it could be. It could be national.
Really good point, because I went to the Abilities Expo in Los Angeles, and we were thinking the same thing. Like a Miracle League booth here would be awesome. Half the people there didn't even know what the Miracle League was.
Right.
Just a booth alone would at least open it up to the other people that are there. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of our brand, the Miracle League has been doing great things, and we were spread out all over the country, right? But that doesn't mean that there aren't other either one-offs or other organizations that are doing similar programming. They're just not affiliated with Miracle League yet. Maybe that's something that could happen, but it's just something that's just hadn't organically happened yet. So, Harrison, what we got to do is we got to get the information, get to Edison, and set up. That's what we got to do. Yeah. I'll put you in charge.
There's one. There's one I know. I think it's called Move United, and they do everything from. It's like one company. And they don't have a chain. I don't think it's like national. It's one company, and they do everything from like swimming and maybe just like swimming and track and all this stuff.
Founded in 1956. They're headquartered in Maryland.
Move United, huh?
It's adaptive sports.
Out here, our high schools are starting to do what's called United Sports. That's what they're calling it. And they're doing high school versus high school, which is really cool. Yeah. We've offered them our field. We're like, hey.
We do that here. There's a good number of our high schools in the area, in Mercer County and beyond, that do same thing. We call it's unified sports. But it's the same thing as happening.
Unified.
And
it is unified.
And it's a great program. Harrison, do you guys have that in Hopewell?
Yes, we do.
I thought so, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have unified track, and I think we have unified basketball, too.
I think you have basketball. I think that's what jogged my memory.
Basketball's the big one here, too, for unified. I don't even know if they play baseball, but we offered them our field if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I know that's a good idea.
And it's just an extension off the regular team,
right?
Like that.
Yeah.
Basketball is great because it's such an easy sport, just in general, right? That's why we all grew up, and you can throw together a basketball game real quick, a pickup game, because all you need are a couple people and a hoop. Right, that's
it's already ADA accessible.
One ball, right? Yeah, and you have and if you have a nice smooth surface, you're ADA accessible.
Yeah, it really lends itself well. You don't need that many players.
We're in the business here with baseball where we have to have the barrier-free field. We have to consider a lot of different things in order to make it work. And baseball is inherently more challenging to put together, just in general. But I'm proud of what we do with it, and just being the baseball guy myself my whole life. It's something that
kids love it too. I mean, our signups. I'm super.
How are you doing with signups, by the way? How many kids are signed up?
So we ended up with 62.
That's amazing. First season, that's absolutely fantastic.
Dan, you don't know how many we had our first season, do you?
We had 4 teams our first season, I believe, if I remember right. So we had maybe like 40, 45 kids. I have a bunch of old newspaper clippings that Kathy had put together into a nice little scrapbook. So every once in a while, I'll go back and look through it, get nostalgic. But
that's cool.
Man, yeah, to get right into the 60s right away, that's awesome.
I almost wonder how does the word get out so fast?
Yeah, one part of it for us was because we've been building it for so long. We've been working on it, and so they cover our fundraisers, and we would, and then of course with us, we had the Champions League that Steve Smith was running. So we've got 25 players that came over from that league. I got a few people from Ventura that came over, a group, and then word of mouth. We did not advertise because we actually wanted to keep it small. We were afraid of it blowing up our first year too much. Just because we didn't want to mess it up and have people get unhappy and be a mess. And so let's get this first one under our belt. And then next year, we're going to let it go and just hopefully probably get over 100.
That's pretty much the same thing, how it organically came together for us. And we had the same concern, too. I know it's, you want to, of course, provide for so many people, but you also don't want to promise so much and not be able to deliver in terms of capacity. So I this was the same thing. There was a lot of campaigning that was going out, and while our board members were putting out all the information saying, you need to donate so we can build this field, they were also saying we need players. We had a lot of internal programming with the local YMCA's special needs programming and Special Olympics, so those acted as feeders initially. But yeah, then it was word of mouth from there, and then really only now, like we're 19, 20 years in, only now that I'm in a full-time capacity mode, are we physically going out and proactively recruiting, so to speak, going to PTA meetings, PTO meetings, just general, community events where we're saying, hey, we're here, we're the Miracle League, this is what we do, come sign up.
When we first, the whole 7 years we've been working on it, I've done every radio program that would take me. People would call and ask, and I would do it. Anything, I would speak to all the Lions clubs, Rotaries. So we did a lot of that. Obviously we're looking for money, but it was also just exposure. Because when we first started, nobody knew what the Miracle League is. Now you go around
Rick,
town.
You bring up another point.
Oh, okay. You guys posed a couple times.
I want to ask you another question, because you just mentioned like Kiwanis clubs, Rotary clubs. Do you have any connections with those local clubs? Because I know for us ourselves, our league was built in a partnership with the YMCA and our local Rotary club. Those two organizations were the key pieces that initially got the league off the ground. So tell us about like your relationships you have with some of these clubs.
Yeah, we just have informal relationships with them. Like one of our board members, my board chair, is in Rotary. Jody's in Lions. So clubs have helped in various ways. Lions Club has probably been our biggest supporter out here. Some money helping us anytime we need them to barbecue. That's their big thing. I don't know if that's the way it is out there. And
oh yeah.
So they're going to sponsor our cart. So they're very involved. Some of the other leagues or the other organizations have helped in smaller ways, but no, not as far as like helping us build it or anything. Our land is on Rec and Park land, so that's part. But no money from them, just the land.
I'm gonna mention how I found out about Miracle League. I just figured I would share that. I had actually known about it. I was reading a book, and this one's it's a true story. It's a real person. It's about a real person. The book is called "I Have Cerebral Palsy." That's literally what it's called. And the girl did Miracle League. I don't know where.
Oh, really?
And then at the end, there was an entire back page all about Miracle League at the back.
Oh, no way.
I just happened to be lucky that I had one that 25 minutes away from my house.
Oh, that's a great story.
That's a phenomenal story. Harrison, I don't think you ever told me that. I just looked up the book, too. It's on Amazon. Mary Beth Springer. True story of a girl named Sydney.
That's it.
Oh, cool.
This is really cool. We're going to have to get this book. Readers can learn about the different items that make it easier for Sydney to be mobile, eat, or write, in a fact-filled section about adaptive technology information about Miracle League. Volunteer-based program that makes it possible for children with a variety of disabilities to play baseball. That's us. There you go.
That's cool.
That's
right.
really
I'm
cool.
Look that up. I actually heard about it through. I saw the Real Sports episode.
I think that's how a lot of people found out about it, and
that's helped blow it up. Yeah, I was like in 2003 or 4 when I saw it. And it was in the back of my mind. And I was like, wow, it's one of those things where you watch it, just tears roll down your face, right? You're like, that is the coolest thing. And it always stuck in the back of my head, like, I'm going to get involved in the Miracle League someday. And when I got married to Jody, I brought it up to her and we found the Miracle League of Ventura County. We called them. They weren't doing it. And that's when we just said, well, why don't we just do it ourselves and just get it off the ground?
It's so funny you say that's exactly how our Miracle League came to be. It was a handful of our Rotarians, members of the Rotary Club, and the CEO of the YMCA at the time, Jim Fell. They'd all seen the video, the Real Sports segment, and then they ended up flying down to Myrtle Beach, which was, I believe, the second site that was built. It was the second field that was built after Conyers, Georgia. So they went down there, made a golf weekend out of it, and they got all the information from the directors, the people that were running the league down there, brought it back. They had met Stephanie down there, brought all the information back and said, we got to do this. And then that's when the club and the Y came together and started building this great thing. And here we are now. Literally now cool. We're 20 years later, because it was at that point when it came out, 2003, 2004, it took that time to kind of get the wheels spinning to get everything going. Here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mine was similar. As soon as we found out about it, I started calling the Miracle League Valet, Orange County. The guy in Orange County said, come on down. We're actually going to an Angels game. The whole Miracle League is. We got extra tickets. You can go. So we went down. We saw their last game of the year, went to an Angels game, and just started gathering information on the league. And called Stephanie, got the book, the whole thing, just. Yeah.
Harrison, the Los Angeles one that Rick's talking about, because I've done all my research too. Like I always sneak around and try to figure out what's going on in these other leagues. They have a beautiful, huge scoreboard that looks just like the one at Dodger Stadium, and it was built with money from Clayton Kershaw. I mean, it says like the Kershaw Field or something right on it, but Kershaw's name is right on the darn thing. It's unbelievable. And I'm telling you, we got to get Aaron Judge. We got to get Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge and all these New York Philly people to come in and start supporting us and give us some big money.
And I noticed, I wonder how they do this, or even if they bring it in for the weekend. A lot of the sites that host the National All-Star Game have like a video board. And I don't know if they always have that, or if they bring that in for the weekend, or.
Oh yeah, in Florida they brought it in for the weekend.
Yeah, Florida they rented it. It came in for the weekend. It actually, I'm not even kidding, Harrison. Within 45 minutes of the last game ending, it was out.
Yeah,
it literally was out. I was watching them clean up, and they literally, because it was literally on the back of a giant just flatbed truck, and they just pulled it right out and took off with it.
But
once the rental was up, they were like, "We got to go."
But didn't it have the Miracle League logo on it?
Yeah, they can program it however they want. They have the software that's built in, so you can.
No, like on the actual board itself, because I know.
I didn't see that, but I mean, I'm sure they were able to. Yeah,
because I've seen some that actually have.
Yeah, Vegas does.
Oh no, there are. Yeah, there are plenty of leagues that have built those
video boards.
We're getting our friends in Pittsburgh are trying to build one too, but I would love to, but we're still paying off our field first.
Yeah,
and we're still paying off that new service.
We're getting an authorization.
Speaking of that, we have that scoreboard in the outfield.
That doesn't work.
Has it ever worked?
So pretty much from the day it was installed, it never really worked all that well. But even back then, because we don't keep score, so it was more of a thing. A baseball field needs a scoreboard, right?
It makes it look like a real baseball field.
Exactly. But now that there are so many. Now that it's even more accessible and the price is, relatively speaking, coming down, you are seeing a lot of these Miracle Leagues switching to a video board instead of a scoreboard, because you don't have to keep the score, but you can still, get a camera out and show get the kids' faces on the screen, and
that's what
that looks cool. It gets everybody fired up, and then you can sell sponsorships that way too.
Yeah, and the walk-up music. is cool.
Yeah, the walk-up music, the sound. So that's definitely it's on our list of things, our wish list of things to do. Who knows when that happens, but
and especially
we'd
now,
love to have it.
and especially now because we are starting to do an advanced skills game or an advanced skills league.
Oh yeah, cool.
We have no way to keep score of that.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a chance. We have opportunities to do that. I am really excited about the competitive skills league. I'm glad we were able to get that going last year. And Bill knows if anyone's listening and they have a nice big checkbook and they want to write us a check for $45,000, hey,
make your check out to
put your name right up top,
right, with a car dealership,
Coca-Cola,
whatever. Are you guys in Yankees territory or Phillies territory? What market are you in?
Harrison just said it. Both. We're in a if you looked at us geographically, and everybody always asks this question to us.
Like TV packages.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
We're dead center between New York and Philly. So yes, like our basic cable package. You know how you get your local stations?
Yeah.
We get New York and Philly stations.
Oh,
but
I see.
Literally just where we are. If you go one county up, you go one county down, you only get Philly or you only get New York. It's literally just us.
We had a Philly that was part of a Philly player that was part of our, that would come to all of our events. Do you remember Mike Lieberthal?
Great catcher.
Yeah.
He was a heck of a catcher. Good guy.
His coach in high school was my coach in high school. And
no way.
So Richie was on our original board. So he got Mike to come to our first 3 events, and super nice guy. He comes, signs autographs, spoke at one of them. He lives close by.
That's all. That's a great connection to have.
And actually, and Aaron Judge's mom came to one of our events. So, yeah.
That's right. They're from the area. That's right.
Judge's agent is from our town. And so his agents, somebody works with his agents involved with our league. So anyway, Judge has never been there, but he donates stuff. And getting Judge is a big deal. That's a tough one. But we'd like to try to pull it off. So
it is Valentine's Day. Pitchers and catchers reported. So
yes.
I'll have a little bit of more to report next week. But I can't believe I didn't mention that right away.
That's all right. At the time of this recording, we can safely say that there are Major League Baseball players out there on the field right now getting work in, and that sounds great to me.
What position do you play, Harrison? What's your favorite position?
First base.
First base, right on. Are you a good hitter?
Yeah. Yeah. At least I try to.
I bet. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right.
Okay. He bats right-handed, yeah. And he's got a wonderful. We've gotten them those Xylo bats, right?
Oh, nice.
That Leland Wetzel puts together down in Texas. But Harrison, you have your own. Like, it's actually huge. You have your own super legit wood bat. That's like a maple bat.
Oh, he does. Nice.
That thing is awesome. I love that bat.
But that one's heavy.
It was. I think the Xylo bat actually works better for you. But these sessions go really quick.
Oh wow!
Where's that?
I'm gonna. Good questions.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to spend the time with us and talk about your league, and we really do wish you all the best, Rick. I mean, you're such a great guy. It was a pleasure finally getting to meet you last November, and starting a new friendship. And we're big fans over here in Jersey, watching you put this all together and start these first steps and put executing your league. So we wish you nothing but the best, buddy.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me. And one of these days, we're going to have to get New Jersey, California, and bring Harrison out, or we'll go that way.
Harrison, you're making all these friends. Everybody's inviting you out. Everybody wants you to come to their league.
You're going to have to travel.
We're going to have to get your own jet.
Oh, now you're
get a private jet.
Now, I'm Harrison Milo alongside Dan Schweck and Rick Pena, the executive director of the American League of the 805. Our guests for this episode, we're signing off. Today's Baseball Brain podcast is brought to you by our friends at East State CrossFit. East State CrossFit will bring out the best in your player. Visit their website for more information.
Baseball is great and I want to play it so much, but it's hard for me, sometimes it can be too tough. I'd give anything just to come up to the plate and swing. Then I heard about a really cool thing coming to our town. They're gonna build a field so kids like me can get around. Everybody's pitching in, looks like we're gonna win. It's a miracle to me, I'm playing baseball, it's a sight to see. We got it all, under the lights, I'm a star tonight. Looks like I'm living the dream, 'cause I'm playing on the Miracle League. I'm playing baseball, it's a sight to see. We got it all, under the lights, I'm a star tonight. Looks like I'm living the dream, 'cause I'm playing